Okay, we are starting a new topic which continues from our polynomial equation. Okay, so before the break, we learned how to find the roots, right? Solving for x. So roots are also called the x-intercept. And we use the word x-intercept when we are trying to draw the graph, okay? Which connects to our next topic called the polynomial functions. Function means you have an input, right? You put the x in, you get a y out, okay? So that's why you can plot the points. So you're gonna look at the chart on page 17. So please everyone turn to page 17. So depending on the exponents, the degree of the polynomial, we could have different shape of the graph. Okay, so we're gonna look at the patterns, and then when you get a question, you can have something in your mind right away, right? What it's gonna look like for you to check. All right, so please have page 17 in front of you. So if you look at this chart, on the left side, you have even degree. Okay, so the degree refers to the highest. You can write that down, highest. Can even spell highest, H-I-G-H-E-S-T. Okay, highest exponent. Okay, so for example, if I multiply all the brackets out, the x times the x times the x times x, this one will give you an x to the 4 plus other terms, right? So highest degree is referring after you expand it, you get a degree of 4 for this one, okay? Because it has an highest exponent 4. And this belongs to even degree because it's even number. Even number means 2, 4, 6, 8, right? Those numbers. So if the highest exponent is an even number, then it belongs to this category. So all the 2, 4, 6, 8, their graph will have some shared look, okay, similar look. Okay, later we'll take a look at that. And then on the right side, we have the odd degree. Okay, so for example, you look at here, you have x times it by negative x times by negative x. So you will end up with x to the cube, right? Because negative times negative will give you positive, right? Plus other terms, right? If you multiply everything out. Okay, so this one belongs to odd because you have a 3, right? Odd means 1, 3, 5, 7, right? Those numbers. So all the odd degree graph will look similar, okay? Now you look at the left side. Positive leading, okay? Positive leading is talking about the leading coefficient. So after you multiply everything out, right, here you have x to the 4th, and the coefficient is 1. The positive is referring to this number, okay? If this number is positive, we call that positive leading. It doesn't matter what number that is. That number, it could be 3, could be fraction, okay? As long as it's a positive number, it belongs to here. So for this picture, right, for this polynomial, it has even degree and a positive leading. Okay, so that's why it's in the top left corner. Okay, can you raise your hand if you understand up to here so far? Okay, how you categorize every question that you see. Okay, so it could be positive, even and positive, could be odd and positive. Okay, so for example, like the one on the right hand side, right, you have a 1 here. This is also positive. Right, you have an odd degree, it's positive leading. Okay, Kellen, Eric, and Jenny, any question about the odd and even and positive, how to tell? Eric, do you have any questions? Eric, are you not back yet?
No, I'm just
Yeah. Did you understand how to tell how positive or negative?
yeah, it's the highest degree.
Highest degree is the exponent, but then
Yeah.
the positive, negative, you look at the coefficient.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it could be negative, right? Let's look at an example for the negative part. Yeah. Negative, right? So you need to look at what it looks like after you expand, okay? For this question, you have a square. So that means you have x times it by x times by x again, right? And times it by negative x. So actually you have 4 things to multiply, right? Because of the square there. So at the end, you will end up with negative x to the 4 and then plus other terms, okay? But we only focus on the highest degree term, right? This one is even. This is negative. So that's why it belongs to the even negative. Okay, similar for the last one. You have negative x squared. So negative x squared is like negative x times x, right? And then times it by x minus 4. So this will give you negative x cubed plus other terms, okay? We don't care too much about other terms. So this is an odd with a negative. Okay, so it could be even positive, odd positive, even negative, right? And odd negative. Okay, all good. So for example, the question you will see will be something like this. So the very first thing is to tell whether it belongs to even positive or even negative, odd positive or negative. Okay, first you check even or odd. You check even or odd, and then you check positive, negative. Right, so I would like you to try that first, okay? Just determine whether it belongs to even pos, even neg, or odd pos, or odd negative, okay? For these 2 questions. Once you found the name for it, okay, please raise your hand. So you just need to tell me whether it's even positive or even negative, or odd positive or odd negative, okay, for these 2 questions. We look at the, you have to think about after you expand, okay, not while it's in brackets. After you expand everything, the first term, okay, that's the term that tells you the category. Okay, Lily, do you know the category for A?
Is it even negative?
Very good. Okay, if you expand, right, the brackets, your very first term is negative x to the 4 plus whatever. Okay, we don't really care about other ones. We just look for the highest one. It's an even number and it's a negative. Okay, so it's even negative. All right, that's all you need to determine. If you have this question B, please raise your hand. So far, only one person got it. X minus 2 squared. This one is a square. It means x minus 2, x minus 2, right? And then you have x plus 6. You have x. Okay, Waylon, do you know how to tell even or odd, positive, negative? Waylon, are you there? Waylon? Or Nick? Do you have answer for this one?
I think it's I'm not sure.
You look at all the x, okay? The x times x times x times x. What do you get?
Even.
So x to the
4.
4. What about the coefficient?
Do I like add the coefficients or do I mean like do I
Multiply.
multiply the coefficient?
Yeah, multiply all the x together, right? Then what's the coefficient at the front?
24.
The coefficient. Coefficient means the number in front of the x. You have the 1, right? 1.
Oh, 1.
Yeah, so it just be 1. Okay. You multiply all the x term together. So it will be even, positive, or negative.
Is it positive?
Yeah. This number, okay, this is a positive. So it will be even positive. Okay, 1 tells you it's positive. The 4 tells you it's even. Okay, Waylon, are you there?
I'm back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so do you know how to tell odd or even?
Yeah.
Okay, how about negative, positive?
Oh, pardon?
Do you know how to tell if it's positive or negative?
Yeah.
Okay. Because this will affect your graphs, okay? Your overall graph, how you connect the points, okay? You must be able to tell. Any questions? Okay, can you raise your hand if you know how to find the category, all right? You take all the x and multiply together. Callum, Jenny, Marcus, and Nick, do you have questions? Okay, so let's look at their graph, okay, what they should look like. But before we do that, okay, we need to find some points. the easy point to find is the x-intercept. Okay, so we learned about x-intercept on the last before the break, right? The answer that you find after you set it equal to 0, right? That's called the x-intercept. Okay, x-intercept here. So in the function you have y, right? The page we were looking at, instead of 0 we have y. If I replace the y with a 0, when y equals to 0, that means it's on the x-axis. So that's why it's called the x-intercept. Okay, so if I replace this with a 0, okay, let me zoom out a bit. Okay, so we have 0 on the left side, right? X plus 4, x minus 2, x plus 1, and x. Right, this is an equation and we solve each one. So x could be -4, could be 2, could be -1, could be 0. So these are called the zeros, because it makes the y equal to 0, or you can just simply call them x-intercept. Okay, or call the zeros different names. Okay, we're gonna list them out at the blank down here. The degree for this one is 4. X-intercept is at -4, 2, -1, and 0. Okay, so I'd like you to do the same thing for the question on the right hand side. Okay, write out the x-intercept. Okay, for these 4 questions, x equal, okay, x equal. Find all the zeros or x-intercepts, okay, for these 3 questions. Okay, raise your hand when you're done. Okay, should be done by now. Okay, let's check the 0 for odd positive. Okay, Caleb, can you tell me the zeros for this one?
Oh, I'm still working on it right now.
For this one,
Yeah,
you know how to do it?
kind of. I'm still trying to work it out quickly.
Okay, let me know when you got it.
Okay.
Not yet, Caleb?
I'm still trying to work on it. I'm almost done.
Okay. So, Caleb, you say you are working on that. Can you tell me what you're writing right now?
Oh, right now I'm trying to find what makes it equal 0.
Yeah, so what do you do to find that?
Oh, you put down 12.
Where's the 12 come
Oh,
from?
so you sorry, no, you solve for x.
Then how do you solve for x?
You just use one of them, so x minus 1 is equal to 0, and you get 1.
Okay, next one.
2
2.
and 6.
Okay, very good. Okay, 1, 2, 6. Those are the x-intercepts. All right, and then we do the same thing for the even negative. Angela, what's the 0 for this one?
I haven't done it yet.
Then let's go over it together. Do you know how to start?
Is it? I'm not really sure.
You look at each bracket. You have the x, you have the x plus 2, right? And you also have the 3 minus x. You have 3 brackets, right?
Mm-hmm.
You make one equal to 0 and find x. It's the same way we solve for x in the last topic, right? When we find the roots, you have 3 brackets, right? You make each one equal to 0 and solve. Understand, Angela?
Yeah.
Okay, it's the same thing, nothing new here. Find the x-intercept. So for this one,
Is it 0?
yeah,
Wait, do I have to square root the second bracket?
the square is like x plus 2 and x plus 2.
Oh,
So it's like
okay.
2 brackets, right?
-2.
Mm-hmm. And then,
3.
yeah, and 3, very good. Okay, 3 minus x equal to 0. You move the negative x over, right? So x will be 3. Okay, it's the same way you solve quadratic equation, you solve polynomial equation. We just give it a different name. We call it x-intercept, that's all, okay? So these are the x-intercept on the graph, all right? Now, next one. Marcus, what are the x-intercept for this one?
I forgot how to get it.
Do you know how we got this one? The previous one here?
Oh, and it would be you got it
When
from
we-
x plus 2 and 3 minus x.
What?
Did you get it from x plus 2 and 3 minus x?
X plus 2 give you the negative 2, right?
Yeah.
And the 3 minus x give you the 3.
Yeah.
What about the 0? Where do we get the 0 from?
The x on the outside.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, let me open up again. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing on the right side, okay? What do you think the x-intercepts are?
-0. Wait, no. Just
What's
0.
Yeah, okay, you can look at the brackets. Negative 0 is same as 0, right? Negative just stays outside. It's not part of the x. So
And
we have
then
0. What else?
4.
And 4. Anything else?
I think that's it.
That's it. Yeah, very good. Okay, so for this one, only 2 x-intercept. When after you factor, these are already factored. Okay, after you factor, you need to know how to find the roots. Otherwise, you won't be able to do your homework. Okay, because before the break, we learned how to factor, right, into 3 brackets, and just solve each one. Each bracket equal to 0 to find your answers. Answers are called roots, x-intercept, or we call them zeros. Okay, there's nothing fancy about this, right? Just solve each one. It might look a little bit confusing when you just have an x or with a square. So if you see a square, it's like the 2 brackets that are the same side by side. Okay, so like for a -2, this one, because it appeared twice, we can call this the double root. Okay, this root happened twice, double root. For the one on the right hand side, which one is the double root here? Jenny? For this question, which one is the double root?
I'm not sure.
Which one appeared twice? Is it the 0 or the 4?
0?
Yeah, okay. We have x here that give you the 0. You have another x give you the 0, right? This one give you the 4. So 0 happened twice. So we call that the double root. Okay. The -2, because you have x plus 2 and x plus 2 twice, right? So that's why the -2 is the double root. All right, any questions so far? How we get the zeros or the x-intercept? If there's any steps that you're confused how we get the answer, you have to ask me, or I don't have psychic power, right? I can read your mind. So let me know, okay? Then I can explain.
What do you mean by double roots?
Yeah, double roots. Okay, Jenny, no problem. Okay, double roots means it happens twice because, like, for example, this one, the x plus 2 has a square, right?
Mhm.
So that means you have x plus 2 and x plus 2, two brackets that are the same.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why when you find the root, even though I only wrote it once, but then it happens twice in the brackets.
Okay.
Okay, and similar for the one on the right hand side, right? You have x squared, but x squared means x, and both of them give you the 0, so we call the 0 double root.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
No problem. Doesn't matter how simple the question or how difficult the question is, okay? I won't know your question if you don't ask, right? Okay, so make sure you ask any question, okay? Anything that doesn't make sense to you. Okay, that way you don't carry your question home. Well, you're already home, right? When you are doing homework, right? So how does that help us graph? Okay, so we make this chart for a reason. Even positive, they all have similar shape. Okay, here we have a degree of 4. Another degree, another even number is a 2. So x squared will have similar graph as x to the 4. Okay, so we can write it on the side here. Similar to y equal x squared. And y equal x squared, I think everyone should know what that looks like. Chris, what does y equal x squared look like?
Parabola.
Yeah, it opens up or down?
Up.
Up, very good. Okay, so your arrows, the two ending arrows will be in quadrant 1 and 2. So that means x to the 4, okay? This question will also have arrows here and here. Okay, that's what it means by similar. It will have the same location for the arrows. So the quadrants at the bottom, we call it quadrant 1 and 2. It's talking about referring to where the arrows are. This is quadrant 1, right? Quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Okay, it's referring to the arrows. And then if we plot in the zeros, okay, x equal to -4 is here, 2 is here. Okay, I'm plotting the x-intercept, -1 and 0, right? Those are the 4 x-intercept that we found. Now we just connect with our arrow. We don't know how low it goes, okay? Just approximate. But at least we know the general shape. It should look like that. So we are just only sketching. If you want to know how low it actually goes, right, the curve, then you need either a graphing calculator or using calculus, okay? Then you can calculate the lowest point or highest point. Right now, okay, all you need to know is to figure out how to connect the points in roughly, right, where the arrows are. So you can see the arrows at the same place, right? Quadrant 1 and 2. So if it's okay, any questions so far? Can you raise your hand if you understand how we get a green graph here?
Jason,
Yeah, Daniel.
can you explain it again?
Sure, sure. Okay, where did you get lost? Did you get a y equal x squared?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one x squared is an even degree, right? The x to the 4 is also even degree, so that's why it belongs together. And then it has a positive at the front, right? Positive leading, so they have similar shape. They have similar location for the ending arrows. The one I use yellow highlight. Do you follow so far?
Yeah.
So if I erase these green lines for now, okay, all I have is the two arrows. Next thing I plot is the x-intercept that we found up here. Okay, we have -4, 2, -1, and 0. So we know where the arrows are, right? So we just need to connect from the arrow through the x-intercept. X-intercept means where the graph will go through, right? It will go through -1. It has to go through 0, so it has to bend. And it has to go through 2 in order to touch the other arrow, right? It had to start with one arrow and then end at the other arrow. Does that make sense now, Daniel?
Oh, so we don't need to find like the 2 bottom points, right?
Yeah, we don't know where they are. These lowest point, we don't know how low it goes, okay? We can only approximate.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah, so when you are showing the sketch, okay, you don't need to tell me like exactly where the lowest points are, okay? What I will be checking is whether you got the location of the arrows and whether your x-intercept are right or not. If you want to know the lowest point, you need to use graphing calculator or you need to take calculus, okay? Calculus can help you calculate. Okay, I think we this week, okay, you need to just review this the things that we talked about here. Okay, let me talk about the negative, okay, very quickly, because negative is similar. You won't get homework on this one, but I don't want you to forget. So during the week, you need to review this one, okay, the chart. So y equals to, this one is even as well, right? So it looks similar to y equals x squared, but because it's negative, so I have a negative at the front. Okay, so your graph will look similar to a parabola again, but it will be opening down. Okay, so the quadrants. What are the quadrants of the arrow? Eric?
3 and 4.
Yeah, okay. So these two arrows, they are pointing down. Quadrant will be 3 and 4. So that means your quadrant for the one we want to graph is also here. Arrows. Now we put in the zeros. We have x equal to 0, x equal to -2, x equal to 3. One thing very special is you have a double root, right? Whenever you have a double root, it will not go through, okay? Because if you make it go through, right? Let's say if I make it go through now, then your arrow, it won't end up at the bottom, right? Because we want the arrow to end up at the bottom, right? So for the one that has the double root, it has to bounce, right? It's like hitting a wall, right? You throw the ball at a wall and then bounce back, right? This is at -2, double root. And then the other one are singles, it will go through. And there, okay? So this gives you a bounce. Okay, so make sure you copy the notes down now, okay? Please raise your hand if you finished writing everything on here. The x-intercept is 0, -2, and 3. This is double root. Degree is 4. Okay, once you finish writing everything, then we'll finish here, okay? We'll complete the table next time when you come back. So your homework will be on polynomial equations, okay? Solving for x. Next week is Victoria holiday, okay? So we won't have class and we'll continue the week after, okay? And that will be our last class, okay? So if you have questions, please stay after class. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay, have a great weekend.
Thank you, Jason. Bye.
Thank you.
Jason,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Jason,
Yeah, Susan.
why do we get a degree of 4?
Oh, degree of 4 is for this one, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, just in general.
Oh, depending on the question, right? So you look at how many x you have. For
Uh-huh.
example, like this one, you have, let me highlight it, okay? You have an x here. Oh, here, this one, right? Another x, another x, another x. So they all multiply together, give you x to the 4.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so the question can change, right? If you have 3x, it will be x to the 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's mostly just the number of x's in the equation.
yes, yes.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.